Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Ang topic natin today may kinalaman sa pagre-retire dito sa Canada. Okay, a while back, talagang medyo matagal na, no? With this same guest, we actually talked about this, how kung magdedepende ka lang sa pension from the government, sa retirement mo dito, baka medyo mahirap yun, medyo kulang. Okay, related po dyan ang ating pag-uusapan because, may share kami sa inyong government data showing that, mga Pilipino, isa pala sa mga pinakamalalaking, grupo, mga racialized groups dito in Canada, actually top daw po ang Pilipino sa mga nagtatrabaho pa rin na may edad 65 years old and above. Ayan, welcome back to In a Nutshell. Si Sir Manny, shy po siyang sabihin na kanyang surname, okay? Basta si Manny na lang po ang itawag natin sa kanya. Hello,
yeah, hi, Ina. Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Ayan.
It's great to be part of your program, to be able to, the opportunity to share my, whatever I know, my experiences in Canada for the past 30 years.
30 years?
Yeah, well, it's 30 years in total, but the first 10 years, lang kasi kami, we were visiting.
Oh.
The first 10 years, tourist lang kami. Ayaw namin talaga. Yeah, because my family's been here for a long time. So dumadalo lang kami. And then, so after 10 years, doon lang kami nag-decide na mag-relocate na.
Yeah.
And it's really a permanent relocation. No? And then, so yeah, from that until now, so that's around, now it's around 25 years already. So yeah, 35 years in total. Yeah.
Okay. So now, kayo guys, you might be curious, bakit si Sir Manny ang kausap ko about this topic? You should, ang tagal na kasi nung first episode natin, So, where we talked about his background. He had a very successful career back in the Philippines. He left all that for Canada, started, from survival jobs, as what some people would refer it to, until he was able to, get to a high-ranking corporate job here. And now he is retired comfortably, and he also helps, he gives advice, especially to new immigrants, mga tips niya on how you can also live, a stress-free retirement in Canada.
Yeah. Well, I think what I really wanted is if I can share, how to, because we saw this as a new place to live. Mm-hmm. And within the journey, learning how to be able to enjoy, here. Of course, there's a struggle. Mm-hmm. At the same time you're struggling there, pwede namang ma-enjoy ang Canada, no? Hindi lang puro trabaho, di ba?
Nako, yan ang gusto.
Hindi lang puro bayad ng bills, di ba? But we learned it also from the past. So now that we've gone full circle, so we're happy to share with you how can you do both, when you're trying to achieve your goal, at the same time not losing sight of how to enjoy this wonderful country.
All right. Okay, let's go first to this recent study. Yan. Of Statistics Canada, guys. Napakahaba po ng report na ito, but we will just zero in on one portion. Okay, so this was released February 3, 2025, and this covers data about sources of income ng racialized individuals 65 years and over in Canada based sa 2020 data pa. Siyempre guys, matagal mag-collate po kasi ng mga ganitong information. Baka tanongin niyo bakit 2020 pa. Pero again, just released earlier this month ito. Now, let us go to this interesting data tungkol sa mga Pilipino. Let me read to you this portion. In 2020, Filipinos had the highest employment rate among racialized groups, with 34% earning a median income of $21,000. Among these workers, 40% men earned $25,200, while 31% women earned $18,600. So in short, ang sinasabi lang nito, marami sa mga Pilipino dito po sa Canada na age 65 and above are delaying their retirement because they are still not leaving the formal labor force to being employed in short. What do you think about this? Anong unang pong pumasok sa isip niyo, Sir
Yeah,
Melvin?
I think,
Share this with
yeah, I just wanted to put in perspective because it's not just Filipino. My impression, I don't think it's not just Filipino who are working over, when they're over 65. I could say safely most immigrants, regardless of your background, are still doing that because when we come here, we're several steps behind diba? Kasi like tayo, when we come here, medyo, if you might have been established, already have an established position in the Philippines, diba? So okay na tayo dun When we come here, talaga, I'm sure you can attest to that. You start all over, zero base. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, whatever your experience is. And I've seen this not just amongst Filipinos, but even people I work with who comes from even from Western countries like the UK, start all over sila. So, ang disadvantage natin, we're behind several years relative to those who've been here, started their career. Tapos noon, siyempre, when you start, talagang, umpisa ka ulit, you have to, look for a job, first of all, to pay your bills. So even if you transition from the Philippines to, let's just say, you have properties there, you bring it here, but you don't get the same career right away, diba? Yung career na pays you well. So dito, umpisa talaga kasi wala tayong Canadian experience, diba? So that puts us behind, and then it's up to us now if we want to catch up or not, diba? My experience, it took me 3 years before I was able to get back on my career that I have in the Philippines. No? So the first 3 years were just survival jobs. But once you get into that, yung career mo talaga doon, okay na, di ba? Kasi iba na yung standard ng earnings mo here vis-a-vis where you came from. Now, going back to that question, kasi isa pa, yung profile ng Filipinos coming to Canada, I don't have the data, but I'm sure it might reflect the same demographics as we have in the Philippines to here, di ba? Like it's a triangle, di ba? Like, the upper class and middle class and lower class. So those who are starting here, if you're coming from not as comfortable as you have, so malayo hahabulin di ba? Mahaling hahabulin. Whereas if you come in with, kasi di ba, when you apply for immigrant, meron sila ditong settlement funds that they require, right? So if you're coming in way above that settlement fund, you bring it here, medyo hindi na masyadong, di ba, malayong hahabulin mo. And then it's just finding the right opportunity to get back on your career path that you have in the Philippines. Once na naabot naman yun, it will, you'll catch up, di ba? Yeah. And as the saying goes, it will only get better. Even if you really start low, like ako, I started really, kahit basta lang to pay the bills. But you just keep applying, keep trying. So now your first goal kasi is to get back on track of your career, diba? Once you're there, umpisa na yun, and then you build that over the years, and then hopefully by the time you reach a certain age, medyo hopefully bayad na yung mortgage mo, bayad na yung your cars and everything. So maliit na lang yung cost of living mo, and therefore the income that you need does not have to be that much to pay for your cost, for your lifestyle. So hopefully over those years, like, I don't know, 20, 30 years before you get there. So
okay. I'll cut you there lang muna, sir. Doon sa earlier part po ng inyong answer, basically you're saying that's sort of a downside of being an immigrant. Many of us, we move here in our 30s, bata pa nga yan. Ngayon, ang dami nang lumilipat dito, 40s, some in their 50s.
Yeah.
So we're unable to maximize, yung available, pension, kung meron man, hindi lang yun. Kumbaga, short talaga yung time natin to save up. Shorter time to save up for retirement.
Well, I think I mentioned last time we spoke, late lang naman talaga na makuha mo dito eh. Like you have your old age and you have your CPP, Canadian Pension Plan. It's within the range of 1,000 to, not even $2,000 a month. Like that doesn't buy you a lot,
Mm.
right? So yun yung kung nasa stage ka na maliit na lang binayaran. Let's say bayad na yung bahay mo, bayad na lahat, babayaran mo na lang your cell phone, yun, that might suffice. But if you're not there yet, definitely you'll need to, to earn more to pay for your cost of living. Lalo na kung, you late ka na nag-start na mortgage, mortgage about 25 years.
Oo.
And then what aggravates it more is like ang mahal ng bahay. Like, I don't know, in some places, like here in Toronto, you start with less than $1 million, 600 to 900,000 as a starter.
Yeah.
So, dun pa lang, kung 20% or, I don't know what's the, down payment now needed, or let's say $1 million is what, 200,000 down payment. You have to have $200,000 cash, right?
Mhm.
Start a mortgage with the bank. So, where do you get that, di ba? So, ang haba ng journey, and I think that might be the other reason. And again, not just us, but generally immigrants. Although may mga alam kong immigrants na who brings in a lot of money, especially from the Middle East. I've met people from the Middle East. Sila, marami silang pera. Pagdating dito, bibili na agad yung condominium sa downtown or whatever. Wala silang cash flow issue kasi meron silang dalang baon eh.
Okay. Paano po, let's say, Sir Manny, someone, who is thinking pa lang, nasa Pilipinas pa, thinking about moving to Canada, as you mentioned, medyo mahina ang cash flow. That's why they're seeking greener pastures abroad. And one option, halimbawa po nila, is Canada. And then they see this report, Manny, I'm in my 40s. Ba't pa ako lilipat pala dyan kung ganun? Baka magtatrabaho pala ako beyond my retirement. Is that still a good idea? What would you tell me?
Here's my thought on that. And that was before the COVID or whatever. If you have your own, there's two options. Kasi meron ka either employed or you're self-employed or you're an entrepreneur, di ba? In the Philippines, your own business. Dito, yung talaga employment, mahirap eh. Kasi whatever your experiences in the Philippines or overseas, pagdating dito wala kang Canadian experience, you have no choice but to get an entry level eh. Unless I'm not sure if it's a technical job, like if you're an IT, an engineer, or because like even engineer kailangan din ng mga certificates, whatever. The employment is a challenge. Now, if you're self-employed or if you have a company, that's doable. Kasi mayroong program in Canada, like if you apply here they call it self-employed, they give you a PR right away, but that doesn't mean that you have to give up your company in the Philippines. You can still run it, you can still go back and run it, but you have a PR status here.
Is that still available now?
Right now, they put it on pause because of this, the over, what do you call this? The over.
But I think you're talking about the startup visa. Parang may ganun po, Startup.
It's not a startup. It's an entrepreneur. It's an entrepreneur
visa.
If you and the bar is really low to get in there, because as long as you can prove that you'll be able to start a company here.
Okay.
And then you have so many years to, but basically that's another, we're going after, that's another option.
Walang pondo.
Exactly. So, basically, okay pa rin yun, but as long as you know what you'll be up against, okay? Mm-hmm. You know that it's going to take you a long time before, you're going to get there. But the life doesn't end here. Hindi naman ganun lang boy sa Canada. It's like you come here, you have healthcare, you have your kids go to school, etc. for free. So all of the whole mix, that's why you're here. It's not just because you want to own the property. Each day here, even if let's say you're not making a lot, but you have the opportunity to see the country, right? You have the opportunity to eat whatever you like. That, ba? So kasi dito, hindi naman magkakaiba yung lifestyle natin. Whether you have $1 million in the bank or you're just making minimum wage, you can still do it as long as you have a job. Diba? Mm-hmm. You want to go shopping, you can do shopping, right? So, hindi ka guys sa Philippines na there's a social discrimination, diba? Like parang if you're not comfortable, they just look at you and they treat you differently, diba? Dito, basta may trabaho ka, you go into the store, they'll treat you the same as everybody else. You buy it, and it's up to you to manage your finances, di ba? Pero accessible, di ba? Sa akin, one of the things I like it here is, like in the Philippines, if you want to travel, you have to save a lot of money to go somewhere. Here, you just drive across the border. You're in the States, right? You're in New York or whatever. So, you have to look at it in total. It's the life that you're really going after. It's not just the material gains. It's the life. Kasi, gaya noon, healthcare, di ba? Magkasakit tayo, di ba? Like we just go into the hospital. In the Philippines, you get a lot of money to get treated, right? So
Yeah.
So that's for me. I would get them to look at it that way. It's the whole package of living in Canada.
Yeah. Okay. But of course, no, I totally get it. No, I totally get that. But of course, many would like to retire and enjoy the remainder of their,
Yeah.
productive years na stress-free. Is it possible to do when you're coming here as an immigrant,
Yeah.
40 pataas, do you think? How do you save up and prepare for
The
it?
the one I take all advice is, if you come here as a couple or family, come here as a team, consolidate, join, put together, join your resources. Kasi kasi ang hirap talaga kung mag-isa ka lang dito. Mahirap Di ba? You pay for your rent, etc. on your own. But if you put your resources together collectively, and I see that, I don't know if you've seen the East Indians, that's how they do it. They live, they would get a big house, and there's so many families. Of course, sanay sila doon. But
Ang hirap naman nun.
mahirap, di ba? Yun mga adjustments that you have to make. So basically, at the end of the day, it's your expectations of for yourself relative to the environment. Kasi ngayon, alam mo na, now, that's why you have to know the landscape. Di ba? So this is one of these things, the conversation we're having, na it's not the same in the Philippines. Hindi ganun kalaki. Kasi we're years, we're stepping backwards, so many steps back behind. So we have to, recover that. No, so yun ang disadvantage ng coming here as an immigrant. But it doesn't mean that that's it, right? So dito may opportunity pa rin. It's up to you kung how you want to take that, diba? So
okay, you've made it clear earlier. May feedback. What is that? Ano ba? I hear something. Baka it's my audio. I don't know. Anyway, you've made it clear, that if you're just gonna depend on government pension, old age pension, ganyan, it's really not enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not enough.
And you
Oh,
told
sorry.
me before.
Let me just add, because I met a lady here. She's also retired, and she's living off her pension. And the reality is, she's just, she can only afford the room. So she's just renting a room because, I think she's a widow. So siya na lang naiwan. So with the pension, wala siya work. Yeah, I mean, it pays for a room, and she's living with a Filipino family. Basically, I think she's paying $500 or $300. So if she has $1,000, then doesn't leave her much, but pays for her food. But that's not the situation you want to be in, of course. Yeah.
So how do you
But it's
avoid that?
it's happening right now.
Kung immigrant ka dito, how do you immediately, start preparing for your retirement? What should you do? Where should you put what savings you might have?
Yeah, I think you just have to be very careful with your money. Manage your expenses, but although mahirap kasi lalo na, siyempre, ang daming, hindi nga, sabi ko, accessible, di ba, ang daming nabibili. But stay focused on the goal, just save, keep saving. Yun namang, when you buy properties naman, kasi ang properties dito nag-appreciate, di ba? So you get some capital gains there. That's one. And then I know a lot of people are doing, side hustles. They call it side hustles. The other, means of getting cash, social media. It's like this. So nothing, don't let anything stop you. If that's the goal, is to get to that point. But also sometimes you have to see if it's realistic or not. Di ba? Kung talagang if it's doable or not, di ba?
Yeah.
Meron naman dyan iba, siniswerte, di ba? Like, say, they start a business, they do well, then they make them that they say, okay, I'll retire at this point. So, iba-iba, kanya-kanya. But at the end of the day, to the average person, is really more of, yung set your sights really down the road and see how much you can really make, from that. And if it's not enough, start early rather than, later, di ba? So, sorry, am I bright?
Would you say, is it better to just retire in the Philippines? Because that's what many people do, actually.
Again, it's to each his own, di ba? To each his own. Philippines masaya, syempre, our friends, your families, etc. Ang reality, sa akin kasi, ang reality naman, like, okay, ang trade-off dito kasi is, number one is the healthcare. As you get older, the more you need the health care that you think. The cost of living, your lifestyle, really, it's up to you how you want to live your lifestyle now. So, but for me, it's really more of the accessibility of, and then the whole society itself, diba? There's order. Diba?
Yeah. Why do you choose to stay here? Ikaw, sir, why do you choose to stay here and spend your retirement here?
Yun nga yun. I would Philippines probably be more of a vacation than, like really staying, for good. Plus, I've got my kids and my grandkids here already, so dito na sila lumaki. So family-wise, that's it. But purely on a, I don't want to say anything controversial or comparison. Sa akin, I feel I fit here more because of, yung like, I appreciate more. Number one, I appreciate more the country. I've been around, I've seen it, so I appreciate that more. I have made a lot of friends here from different backgrounds. And that's one of the, I would say, the benefits of living in Canada because it's multicultural. You get to learn different cultures. And then, US is very close. Europe is very close if you like traveling. And then I think more is on the mindset. When you talk to people, I don't want to say more, but if you know what I mean. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I've talked to a number of people na retirement age na, and yet they're not retiring, and the common factor is they're still paying off their mortgage.
Yeah,
is that something that's very common to you? I mean, your friends, or you hear stories about
well, not really, because there's some people some of my friends, my contemporaries who also move here, and they're in the same situation. In fact, some are even better. They paid off their mortgage. They kept their business in the Philippines. They're coming just back and forth. So they're living that life. Kasi sa kanila, they kept the business, but they wanted their kids to study and grow up and study here. So they're educated here. And probably they see the opportunities, better for their kids here than there, right? So, yun din sa akin kasi I don't think my kids will have the same opportunities I had if we stay there. So at least for them now, they can pursue whatever they want. So, these are unquantifiable, elements of staying here. So.
Yeah. Kaya kailangan talaga you have to plan how you plan to pay off your mortgage and be realistic.
Kasi iba naman, that's why I said if you consolidate and your family is tight, sometimes the kids help to with all the expenses until every one goes. I know somebody who's that. So sa kanya, I like her story because she was a caregiver in Hong Kong. And then the family that she was taking migrated to Canada, sinama siya. Okay. And then from there, she was able to get her kids here at a young age. They study, they work now, so they have their own place in Hamilton. Through the kids, they pull their resources together. Which she said she will never have had the opportunity if she stayed in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So ganun lang. It's really how you make it work. as a family or as a couple.
Yeah. O sige. Balikan lang natin before we end this episode. Let's share again this article that we've been talking about. Basically, seeing how Filipinos among racialized groups in Canada. Hold on, let me go to it again. Ayan, in 2020, Filipinos daw po, ang mga Pilipino ang may pinakamataas na employment rate among racialized groups sa mga edad 65 pataas. Okay? In short, nagtatrabaho pa rin po at dinidili ang retirement kahit po nasa retirement age na. No? Sana things improve, no? And
well, the other dimension that I would like to add, because they like Filipinos here. Like employees love Filipinos because they work so hard, and then they're easy to get along with. No, I mean I've seen it when I was working, in different companies. The other managers, directors, when they met me, say, "Hey, you're Filipino. I've got Filipinos in my team." And they really speak highly of Filipinos. So, and I think that's one thing that we can be proud of. And I would even say, relative to the other cultures, we're more preferred. I mean, there's no question about that. No.
So, in a way, you're saying that we're hard workers. Maybe, I'm sure also, no, some retirees or mga of retirement age, they choose to go outside and do something. Kahit mga napaka-simpleng greeter sa mga establishments, right? To keep themselves busy too. Tama.
Tsaka yung ibang na-meet ko rin na Filipino managers, when they retire, tinatawagan sila ng employer nila. Like, can you come and work, let's say, 2 or 3 days a week? Because they like them. They like them. So, and I think that's what all of us as Filipinos, we have to know that we are preferred here in this country because of our work ethics, because of our values, etc. And nakikita nila, they see that all the time. Even on a personal level, they like us, because we're happy people. We invite them when there's a gathering. So every time you meet someone, they know you're Filipino, they smile. Diba? I don't know if you've seen, when they know you're Filipino, they show that they're happy to, that you're Filipino. So from a professional background, that's an advantage that we have. And then that's why maybe they're still working, not because they have to, because they're being asked. So, diba? And then also, what are you going to do? Like, just stay home and watch Netflix. Diba? So there's also that, like in my case, I still like to do what I do, but of course not to the extent of, before, when I was really pursuing, get my career back here, because I was willing to, do a lot of sacrifices to get there. Now you have the luxury of trying to picking and choosing what you wanted to do, but still being able to do what you want, right? So, yun lang naman na nagbago yung pacing, hindi na kagaya dati na it's a must. Now it's more of, luckily that's opportunity, is there. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much as always for sharing your insight.
I hope I was able to share something with you guys. And if there's anything take away, be proud you're Filipino because people like Filipinos here. Employees love Filipinos. Anywhere you go, I've worked in the West, I've been in the East. When they know it's a Filipino, they would love to hire Filipinos right away.
Yeah. Oh, if you have questions for Sir Manny, put them down there sa comment section. I know sometimes you comment din baka naman pwede mo silang sagutin if they have some questions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because like I like your blogging, and so I reach out to you. So if you have any questions, you can send it to Ina, and then Ina you got my email.
Sure.
So and then we can do I'll try to answer that, but hopefully I was able to give you something to enrich or like staying here you're staying in Canada. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Again, we're gonna cut this episode short. Dito na lang po tayo, no? Thank you so much, Sir.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Okay.
Okay.
Bye. All right.
Bye.
Yeah. Have a good one. Okay. Bye.